Hi, welcome back, Taurus. So we're going to get a quick reading for you guys. Let's dive in to some advice right out the gate. Taurus, messages for Taurus, people placements, audience, people watching. Taurus, nymph, promiscuity. This could be hidden from you. There could be something about finances, the heart chakra, foreboding, fidelity in the reverse. So I think this is just confirming something you probably already know. Um, Most important angel advice for Taurus people and placements. Energy Taurus. Most important vital advice for the Taurus audience. People and placements. Taurus energy, please. We have successful funding in the reverse. We have windfall of abundance in the reverse. You could be worried about your finances at this time, especially if you are going through a divorce or anything like that. We're going to go ahead and right away dive into some advice, of course. Let's grab a beautiful Kali, beautiful, powerful, potent cards here. Taurus, messages for Taurus. Okay. Kind of came out decisively, so I guess we'll have to take it. 15. This could be about pride, could be about conflicts, could be about fighting, could be about manifesting as well, joy, children, creativity. This could be somebody with Leo placement, somebody who likes attention, right? She has unrestrained, unlimited, wild, and unconditional love. The heart knows how to attract grace and manifest creative resolution where the mind sees only difficulties. A spiritual awakening of tremendous value is opening for you as your inner being reorients itself around the increasing inner light. Established structures built on lesser foundations will have to give way. She demands the courageous embrace of the experience. She is your call to initiation and growth, an invitation to embark your path. Rise and greet your destiny. Definitely check out your North Node placement. That is the face of the dragon in your birth chart. It is your destiny, your good karma, your dharma. The South Node could be your bad karma. There's something about speech here, either like a toxic kind of speech, or maybe like with others or with somebody else towards you. I'm not sure. There are times when, no matter how logical an approach may be, no matter how commonly acknowledged as correct or sensible it might seem, the heart nudges us in a different way. Knowledge can. That's interesting because the South Node, if you were like, a lot of the times people don't move towards their North Node because they just don't know their birth charts, right? So they tend to repeat these patterns from previous lifetimes that are actually, because it's been like a broken record that's been replayed, overplayed so many times, it's bad karma now. It's really, I was just hearing an astrologer talk about how the South Node can be a place where, um, if you have like a house there, where and everybody will, whatever house that place is in, can be a place where we see the negative manifestations of that energy. And it's more important about the house sign. You want to think about the house sign as the zodiac sign. So if you had like a seventh house South Node, you would notice that even if you're married, even if you're in your relationships, you always feel like it always falls through, or there's a level of detachment, or there's something like that happening. And that's because you need to take a detached view of that sector of your life, because you've already done it in so many past lifetimes, that you need to move towards your North Node, your Dharma, the face of the dragon, because the seventh house, or not the seventh house, the South Node can be, is the lower part of the dragon, the excretion, what we're letting go of, the exhale. And the North Node is the inhale of that good air, right? We're exhaling the bad air, we're bringing good air for our lungs. Maybe it's really important that you focus on your North Node, especially with the lotus symbology here. This is about rising from the muck towards the light, right? The lotus that grows in the mud and is like a swamp and then emerges, right? So we outgrow problems and birth superior outcomes only when we're willing to learn from our experiences and have the courage to be moved in new ways along untried paths that resonate with the heart. Interesting. Big focus on, like, you could be in a life path 9 year, or letting go of something, a belief maybe even. Through engaging the heart, knowledge becomes wisdom. Wisdom is known by the effect. It elicits healing, transformation. It provides a path through any difficulties. So there is something about learning, right? Gaining more information, a bigger perspective, anything that Sagittarius rules, which can be abundance, wisdom, that kind of. Gemini rules earlier education. Sagittarius is upper education, university, right? There's something about spouses here too. You may feel bound to unwanted circumstances. The way to be freed from oppression or constriction you are feeling is through wisdom. However, it's kind of giving me like finding the chinks in the armor, right? So you might think you're fighting against a foe that's quite scary. It's giving, there's a Grimes song with Elon, well, not with Elon Musk, but it was about Elon Musk. And it was a Grimes song. with a chessboard. So you could maybe just search that up on YouTube and find which video I'm talking about. But there was a lot of game playing in that music video, and she talks about how toxic the connection was and ended up being. However, there is a sacrifice required to obtain it, the surrendering of fixed opinions or judgments based on self-cherishing viewpoints. So there's something about moving beyond ignorance, right? The Garden of Eden, right? Innocence, naivety, right? And Taurus is a fixed sign. It's a fixed earth sign, so it can be a bit stubborn sometimes. Um, it's in the middle of the season, right, when the weather is more steady. Holds wisdom in very high regard. But if you're going through changes, you don't want to operate like a fixed sign. You want to operate like a mutable sign, which is usually at the end of a season before it transitions to perfectionism. It's that kind of refining ability, which is what Sagittarius and Gemini both have. They're both very refining. They like to refine in their knowledge. They're very flexible. They're very two-faced, even adaptable in a way. And I say this as a Sagittarius sun. I wouldn't say it's like two-faced. Maybe in Gemini it is, but I mean Gemini rules brothers, the twins, right? Anyways, self-cherishing is a term from Buddhist tradition which holds wisdom in very high regard. A self-cherishing viewpoint sounds as though it's self-loving, but it's not. It's a viewpoint that reinforces ego. It generates fear, confusion, and anxiety. It doesn't really love the self or want the best for the soul. It just wants the universe to behave in predictable ways according to the whims and desires of the ego. It could be that self-cherishing viewpoint reinforces the idea of being superior to others. Alternatively, it could be based on the idea we're inferior or deserving of poor treatment. In action, the self-cherishing viewpoint is akin to a child who only wants to drink sugary drinks, perhaps because they remind her of their birthday when she felt like a princess. She wants to always feel so special. When given a plate of broccoli or carrots and gasped a glass of water, the self-cherishing viewpoint of the child is thwarted. The universe is not behaving according to her view of things. The wisdom response to this is to disentangle the healthy desire to experience our innate worth from the circumstances. We can then realize the unexpected veggies are a gift of love and well-being. There is no distress, only growth and learning. That's interesting because actually I was on a kind of sugar binge the past 2 days. I don't have Taurus placements, but if you were feeling that way, we did have a tough weekend, right, with Venus opposing Jupiter, I believe, which causes like overabundance, overindulgence, and that can be in all things sweet, right? It's an opposition. It's maybe even overboard in a negative sense, right? You could notice your teeth had issues or something like that, especially with Saturn still in retrograde, and Saturn rules the bones. But more than that, there is a purification of fasting now that the body must take to kill any parasites or diseases in the digestive tract, right? That's why fasting is really good for your immune system. So it's kind of like we fast before Christmas, we fast after Christmas type vibe. But yeah, today actually I made some soup. It's a very nourishing soup because I realized I had kind of eaten sugary stuff. I was addicted to apple crumbles for the past 2 or 3 days, so I was kind of like, okay, we're gonna cut off on the sugar a little bit, and anything that turns into sugar, grains, anything that turns into sugar quickly in the body, right? So that's so choosing things that are longer term nutritional value, right? Which is what Taurus is actually an earth sign. It rules food, it rules long term savings and security and money and good choices in health and such like that. But on the negative side, Taurus can also rule overindulgence, overeating, and eating negative things, bad things, right? So because it's ruled by Venus, which is a planet of that moist sweetness, we might crave those things. So it's important that I suggest soup. I've made some chicken soup today with some vegetables, with some homemade egg dumplings. Very easy to do. Just take some egg, whisk it, throw some oil in there, a little parsley, and some flour, and that's about it. Put maybe salt or whatever. But anyways, we can then realize unexpected veggies are a gift of love and well-being. There is no distress, only growth and learning. The self-cherishing viewpoint prevents us from accessing wisdom. Instead, it attempts to lock the universe in to behave according to a limited view. And when it doesn't, we feel anxiety, distress, or confusion. We interpret the plate of veggies to mean that we don't matter. On the negative, Taurus can be very territorial, right? Very rigid, that we have no value and that we never get what we want and so forth. Ooh, yikes. That's not going to attract what you desire, right? A negative viewpoint. However, when we want lemonade and life hands us lemons, the wisdom within will prevent us from despairing and inspire us to be creative and maybe find lemon press or even grow an orchard. If things don't appear to be working out, do not try to buy into the self-cherishing of limitations that create distress or confusion in your heart. There is an interpretation of what is happening that brings you peace, which is in every ending is automatically a new beginning, right? When we end disease, we automatically have a new beginning towards health. So you are not being punished or denied. You are being assisted on the path. Although you might feel thwarted, the viewpoint will be temporary. It will give way to the realization that you are deeply loved, cherished in an authentic, soul-honoring way. You have nothing to fear. I like that. Maybe you're even moving away from fears that you could have been encountering. This has been such a long reading, and we haven't even gotten any tarot. So let's dive into some tarot, maybe. I like to trust that this reading happens the way it does, right? There is something about like a seeing something clearly, like a little crystal ball there, I noticed in that card, maybe prayer beads. This is about the present moment, really getting grounded so that you can have the realizations that are going to push you on the right path. There's something about keeping this hidden or maybe not communicating with somebody at this time about this. Maybe focusing on your own stability will be the most important lesson here. Something about grounding yourself, yeah, especially in like give and take dynamics, or like something about like daily or monthly recipients of finances or something like that. Yeah, having some kind of self-esteem here as well, yeah, will help elevate you, I think. Being authentic, clear to yourself. You could be dealing with a Gemini or Aquarius, or maybe even a Libra. Yeah, there's something about a third-party situation here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something festering that I don't think you see clearly, almost. Yeah, it's almost causing you to have to leave something behind, just for clarity's sake, honestly. Um, Taurus energy, please. What do you need Tauruses to know from this deck, please? Persecution and Inquisition in the reverse. So I like that. It means there will be less fighting, right? Especially if you're deciding to detach from something. Farm. This will lead to growth. Phobias. Interesting. There's something they say fear can be a good signal sometimes. It can alert you. It's not paranoia, right? This could be about a masculine or about some kind of level of honesty, clarity, using your intuition will be very vitally important as well. Taurus, most important vital advice, please, for Taurus. We have Cauldron kind of in my future position, so I guess I'll read that. You could have like neglected yourself in the past, and there's a real ending to that cycle, or there is some kind of like culmination. You could be approaching a life path 1 year in 2025. Transmutation, vessel, and metamorphosis. Bewitching, yes, it be. Blink and you shall see. A bubbling desire left in the brewing rain. Something is going to happen with timing, right? When we're cooking. Yeah, this could be about something about real estate or a family. A cauldron is essential for a witch and is often the center of her home. It has many uses, for cooking to working spells, brewing potions, making floor washes. The cauldron is the vessel of transformation, turning materials into something useful, healing, and nourishing. The cauldron is a symbol of bringing many things together to create things you want. Sometimes things have to be broken down before new can be created. It may even take several attempts before you have the perfect outcome. Don't be afraid to fail or try spells a few different times or in different ways. As you grow in your practice, you will begin to see what works and doesn't. You will understand the signs of your bubbling pot and can make adjustments when needed. If you're holding cauldron, it's because there is not one path to the outcome you seek. You may have to try many different approaches to manifest what you desire. Perhaps becoming a millionaire means you have to develop a few different sources of income, or to find love, you will have to kiss many frogs before finding a prince. So a spell may need to be worked over the course of many months or even years. You cannot always expect workings to happen within the course of a moon cycle. There are often things in your aura that prevent you from being ready to receive what you seek. Perhaps you have to learn how to manifest something else before manifesting a bigger goal. Trust your intuition. Alrighty then, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you for being here. Please hit like, comment, share, subscribe. You get a personal by messaging me on Telegram. You can leave a tip through the Buy Me a Coffee link. Good luck. Best of care for you. Take care.